There's a delay, but I'm watching here. There's what viewers at home will see.
Howdy, Ags.
Howdy.
I'm Bill Hill, class of '84, and your class, you're A&M Club president here in San Antonio. Back to Monday lunch. For the folks that are joining us in the virtual world, today is the October 19th. The last time we met at Aggie Park was March 9th in this kind of forum. Here we are, we've got a light crowd. We're socially distanced, but we've got about 25 Ags here from the San Antonio A&M Club. And I want to welcome everybody that's here currently, as well as welcome all those that are watching remotely on YouTube. Start off by waving my 12th man flag. How about those Aggies? How about them? Ranked up pretty high in the football polls. We'll see if that can be sustained, but I'm optimistic they can. And I think we're going to have more about that later on when Logan comes up. Okay, I got a couple slides here. I'll go through real briefly, give you a club update. First, as we always do, we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance and the pledge to the Texas flag, and I'll join you. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I
pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, you can be seated. Oh, we're going to say a prayer. And I haven't tapped anyone for that, so I'll just pull it out right here and now. So bow your heads with me. Dear God, we just pause and we thank you and praise you for the many blessings and the glory of our lives. We thank you for the opportunity to meet again at A&M Club here at Aggie Park with the A&M Club here in San Antonio. And it's no small wonder, and you just continues to amaze us and bless the Aggie Club here with many blessings. Bless this food, the nourishment of our body, and thus thy service. Amen.
Amen.
All right, you be seated. Okay, well, I don't think we have any new members or guests, but if there were any, I will tell you that it's good seeing you all here, and it's been a while. We welcome new members and guests to come, and I'll just remind you, if you want to come in person here at Aggie Park, sign up in advance through the website or give us a call and we'll get you seated. Okay, I want to give you an update on the capital campaign. As you know, the capital campaign is that campaign for fundraising that we need to raise in order to renovate and expand Aggie Park, take care of a lot of the safety issues we have here, as well as give us more capability. Our goal is $1.6 million. What I'm showing you here is the slide that I showed you on March 9th. On March 9th, we had raised $861,280. Of that, $80,000 of that was part of a matching fund from the Mays Family Foundation. The current status is as follows. I'm proud to announce that we are at 1.167,775. Again, we are nearing 1.2 million. And that completed match has been raised to $233,000 from the Mays Foundation. Remember, they pledged to match $450,000. Okay, so where does that put us? Right now, we need $216,000 more to be raised from San Antonio Aggies, or Aggies across the nation. You don't have to live in San Antonio. $216,000, and that will be matched by the Mays Foundation, and that'll take us all the way up to 1.6 million. So, despite the pandemic and shutting down Aggie Park and all the things that we've had, we're making steady progress. Just last week, we had another pledge of $20,000 in addition to the pledges and the donations that we have gotten before. So again, as I always tell you, we are really, at this point in time, we're 21 Aggies away from donating $10,000, and we will meet our goal. Or 216 Aggies donating $1,000. So if you're in a position to do that, please consider that, and we'll get this project kicked off. Okay, I'm excited to tell you again about the Skeet Shoot Sporting Clay tournament. That's going to be Friday, October 30th. It starts around noon. It's at the San Antonio Gun Club. There's still slots to be open, so if I would encourage you to sign up. It's 4-man teams. We serve lunch, and it's a great time. It's outdoors. It'll be socially distanced, and there should be no issues, even if this coronavirus hasn't gone away, or if it works its way forward. Okay. Please consider joining us for the 2020 Sporting Clays Tournament. Okay, we had Coaches Night, and as part of Coaches Night, we had a raffle. And so it started out with selling 300 tickets for $100 each, and then that would be guaranteed a $5,000 cash prize. So we sold a bunch of tickets, but we have a ways to go. So what we're doing is we're extending this raffle into the Sporting Clay tournament, and we've added 2 new prizes. We have a trophy black buck hunt donated by Becky and David Holmes. Becky is on our board of directors. She's on the executive board, and she's a frequent donator, and she's donated this black buck hunt. Its value is worth $5,000. So that's now added into the price. Also, we've got a Winchester X4 12-gauge shotgun, $800 value. That's also been donated. So now you've got 3 chances to win. So get your ticket for $100. And again, it's a fundraiser for the club. The way you do that is you go online. You can go online and you can go into the website. Mark, are you going to find it on the front page, or do we have to go somewhere?
On the front page.
So it's on the front page, easy to find. We also have a Nilgai hunt. Last year, this was very, very successful, and what a great deal. The East Foundation has donated this. It's down there in South Texas. I don't know exactly, but it's west of Corpus Christi, and what a fantastic hunt this one is. So these tickets are only $25, and only 250 tickets will be sold. Please consider that. You can also get your ticket at on the website as well. Okay, let's see what else I've got here. I will tell you that we've got Fiesta medals for sale. All right, I don't know how many more we got, Mark. How many more we got?
We have a lot left.
We got a lot left, but I said it before. Here you go. You got the Parsons mounted caliber. You got a neat little wheel that spins around. $10. You can get them from our website. You can call over to Aggie Park, talk to Mark or Mary. But these, once we start meeting, I anticipate we'll go fast, and you won't want to miss out on getting your collector's item here. Let's see. We plan to, like I said before, we plan to continue Monday lunch. This is the first month we're doing this. We're actually live streaming this on YouTube as we speak. And we'll get better at this, and we'll get more and more information out. And as required and as allowed, we will be able to expand what we're doing and who shows up here. But you can't see this, but we've got individual round tables, and we've got about 2 people to a table, 2 or 3 people to a table. So again, very safe, and we're doing well from that regard. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our club vice president, Logan Richter, who is going to introduce the guest speaker. Yes, sir, Mr. Kushner.
May I have the privilege of requesting that we have self-introductions. At one time, this club had self-introductions, and I'd be glad to start off, if that's all right with you.
You want to come up here to the mic and do a self-introduction?
No, I just thought we'd sit here at the table and do self-introductions. go around the table and introduce
That's what we've done
who's
before.
in the room.
Okay,
And what that goes is, I would say Dick Kistner, San Antonio, class of 65.
that sounds great. Can I take this microphone, Mark,
Good, if you want.
over here?
You don't need that.
Well, if we want the audience to hear, there's a big part of the audience.
Oh, yeah.
If that-
Chaz Neely, 62, San Antonio.
And okay, everyone may not have heard that. The question was, are we going to do self-introductions? And we have a kind of a small group, so we're going to do that. You may not be able to see it, but I'll repeat to you. First, we had Chaz Neely, 62. And we'll just do it, and I'll just repeat back here. Jerry Bolton, 71.
Warren Pfeiffer, San Antonio.
Warren Pfeiffer, San Antonio. Jim Mutmore is here.
San Antonio.
Jim Mutmore, San Antonio. Okay?
Class of 53.
Class of 53.
No class.
Dick, are you going to jump up?
Dick Kistner, San Antonio, class 65.
Dick Kistner, class of 75. 65.
Richard Mays, class of 61.
Richard Mays, class of 61.
Charlie Brain, class of 61.
Charlie Brame, class of 61.
Joe Bax, Hot 1.
Joe Back, Ot 1. All right. Ken.
Ken King, class of 60.
Ken Clean King, class of 60.
Adrian King.
Jose Ventura, class of 74.
Vince Wu, class of 80, San Antonio, now lives in Birmingham.
Vince Wu, class of 80.
Susan Wu,
I'm
class of
sorry.
80.
Susan Wu.
Susan Wu,
Class of 80.
class of 80. David.
Dave Fairborn, class of 1981, San Antonio.
Dave Fearborn, class of 80, class of 81.
Flash Blackman, San Antonio, no class.
Flash Blackman, San Antonio.
Richard Wilson, San Antonio, class of 69.
Richard Wilson, class of 69.
Dave Gay, class of 86.
David Gay, class of 86.
Logan Richter, class of 05.
Logan Richter, class of 05.
Mark Osborne, class of 08.
Mark Osborne, class of 08. Okay, so, Ann, go ahead. We've got a guest here, so.
Darnell Smith, Director of Athletics at A&M San Antonio.
Darnell Smith, Director of Athletics, San Antonio. Okay, Logan, come up and join us here, and we'll get this thing kicked off.
All right, thanks, Bill. Thank you, everybody, for coming out for our first non-virtual Monday lunch. I have to wear pants today. During those virtual lunches, I can sit behind my desk and I don't have to wear any pants. So I almost forgot those, but I'm glad to remember.
That's put in a brief.
Except for you. All right, well, we've got a special guest today. We've got Mr. Darnell Smith, who is the inaugural Director of Intercollegiate Athletics and Recreational Sports at Texas A&M San Antonio. Mr. Smith recently served as Assistant Athletic Director of Compliance at the University of Central Oklahoma. He earned a bachelor's degree in economics and a master's degree in natural and applied sciences from Oklahoma State University, where he also played defensive end from 2002 to 2006. He's currently pursuing a doctorate at the University of Oklahoma in adult and higher education with an emphasis in intercollegiate athletics administration. He's a three-time recipient of the Arthur Ashe Scholar Award at Oklahoma State, and he played his high school ball at Taft, where they finished runner-up at state championship 2001.
Yep, we got cheated. Go ahead.
Something about Warren Pfeiffer calling face mask on, something I'm not sure back there. But, I'd like to introduce Mr. Darnell Smith.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I am excited to be here. It's an honor. To give a little bit more of my background, my father was in the Air Force, and he was stationed right here at Lackland. This is what brought us to the city of San Antonio. And I actually went to Lackland High School before they transitioned to Virginia Allred and I played basketball, ran track. I also went to the middle school, Sam Rayburn Middle School, just right up the road, as well as going back to elementary, Adams Hill Elementary. So San Antonio is my home, and I'm proud, I'm excited to be here before you today. So after I left Taft High School, I was fortunate enough to be able to get a scholarship, full ride to Oklahoma State, and I took a full advantage of that. I'm the type of guy that said, look, anything I can do to reduce the debt for my parents, because they've done so much for me, that's what I believe in. And it worked out that way, so I'm very fortunate. While at Oklahoma State, academics was something that I lived and breathed. As hard as I worked on the football field, I worked that much harder in the classroom. That's my mentality. As an athletic director at A&M San Antonio, these are the values that I will instill with our student athletes and part of the vision that I hope to carry. Also, a couple other things about me. I originally was an art major before I got into economics. Understanding, it's an interesting story, but for 3 full-time semesters, I wanted to be a computer animator. And the coach who was recruiting me, not gonna put out any names, said, yeah, we got that at the school. And figured to myself, sure, I can trust my coach. After I signed that NOI, it was, oh wait, we don't have that at this school. So it worked out, but nonetheless, I did convert to economics, and it's just become part of the fabric of who I am. Once you think economically, it's hard to not think that way. And when I look at the vision, when I look at how I interact with my team, and as I lead A&M San Antonio, these values that come with me are things that I hope to showcase in my leadership at the institution. So while at Oklahoma State, academics, the engagement, the community, I realized that I wanted to be an athletic director. I realized this because I saw that there was a need for support, for engagement for student athletes. I said to myself, if I could be that guy, I think that we could have a great future for any program that I lead. And that's what set me off to the journey. After I left Oklahoma State, I went off to the United States Olympic Committee at the headquarters. And I worked for the USOC for a little while back in 2008. I learned so much. One of the things that I was very honored to do was work with the Paralympic division. Sure, I work with athlete services, I work with facilities management, but not a lot of people get a chance to really see Paralympic athletes at their finest. Or people even care sometimes whether or not the Paralympic athletes are even competing. But I will tell you that they are some of the best athletes I've ever seen. When Michael Phelps did his world record, and insert whatever, the fly or butterfly, they had like a track in the pool for his world record time. I've seen an athlete who had a hand missing, had a foot missing, but was swimming and was only probably about 10 paces or 10 yards behind that world record time that Michael Phelps set. So also with the Paralympic Committee, a benefit that I've been able to partake in was working with the military division. So again, my background being military child, I won't say brat, child, but it meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me. For all those, I'll take this time, for all those that have served, for all those that are serving right now, thank you for your service. And if I could I just ask for you all to give a round of applause for all those people who have served in our military right now. Absolutely. It means a lot to me. And anytime I get a chance to really showcase it, I'll take that. So thank you for that. At the Paralympic Committee, I had a chance to work with the military division side of things. And one of the recruiting tools was to be able to look at how to recruit athletes, get a more robust understanding of how sports works, not just inside of collegiate, not just in youth, but looking at a broader spectrum. So with Paralympic athletes, it was, thank you for your service. Now, have you ever considered serving your country in a different way? That being serving through sport. And nothing really has filled my heart so much to be able to see a soldier be able to get back up and be able to represent our country in ways that they probably wouldn't have thought about. So again, all these things that I talk about, my experiences, and there's so many. Some people will say, Darnell, just keep it concise, because you'll talk forever. But all these stories make up who I am. I'm a family man. I met my wife at Oklahoma State, and been married for over 11 years. I have 2 beautiful boys, one that's 5 and one that is 10 months. So it definitely keeps me busy during the time that leading an athletic department, as well as working on my dissertation. And I will get it done. So I'll take all the thoughts and prayers that come with it. But these are the things that make up who I am. After when I was at the United States Olympic Committee, I said to myself, I want to be an athletic director. Still, that goal, that dream that I had was there. So the connections, the relationships that I've built, the individuals that I've encountered, they believed in me. I would not be here today unless someone believed in me. Unless someone understood, we want to support you. We understand what you're trying to do, and we want to make sure we can help you. And so if someone believed in me, next thing you know, I have an opportunity to transition to the University of New Mexico, where I was the director of compliance out there. And after the University of New Mexico, the opportunity came up at Central Oklahoma, where I don't know if y'all say it, but I say it, happy wife, happy life. So my wife's from Oklahoma. So naturally, I'm going to be closer to family. And so I made that transition, made that move. And while at Central Oklahoma, I was able to progress. I was there for 10 years, steadily chipping away, steadily building, steadily doing things to be able to help reform, be able to help build who I am, my leadership. Central Oklahoma, just like New Mexico, whenever I got there as director of compliance, they were under major infraction. I understand that some may know what that means when we say major infraction. Sometimes when I say that, there's typically like music in my head that comes on like dun dun dun. But it's really not that bad. But one thing that I was very proud of is helping them transition, go from this daunting, overwhelming task of rules and regulations and simplifying it to such a way that we can appreciate it. And I think that they can. As now, if you see where Central Oklahoma was and where they are now, it's a night and day. They're building facilities. They've built facilities. They've added programs that have won national championships. I want to do that with A&M San Antonio. I want to do that with everyone's help in this room. I hear the passion and the joy that comes from your voices when you talk about A&M athletics. And I'm part of that family now too, so you'll hear me too. I may have some side stories about some of the things that went on the football field, but I'll leave it off for right now since I'm on the web right now. But, I'm a part of this family. And I want you all to be able to know that I support you all, and I hope that you support me. So as I looked at the opportunity at A&M San Antonio, I said to myself, what better place could I be than to be back home where it all started? The dream to one day be able to become an athletic director is now realized. But that's just a dream at this point. I'm here. I have other dreams that you all can help and support. So background with A&M, I'll give you my story. We are a growing and a young institution. We will start off with 4 sports. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we're no exception that we had to make some difficult decisions when it came to sports. So we were initially going to start off with 4 sports, that being men and women's soccer, softball, and men's golf. But we chose to forego women's soccer and men's soccer to the fall of 21. So we will be competing in the fall of 21. From the spring standpoint, we'll be competing, at least attempting to at this point, unless something changes, keep my fingers crossed and praying that it doesn't. But looking forward to competition with softball and men's golf in the spring of 21 and launching our athletics department at that point. And when we do that, I do invite every single one of you, pending rules, either web stream or in person, to be able to come and support us. It's so important. For softball, we'll have about 22 student athletes. For men's golf, we'll have 9. For women's soccer, we're looking at 25. And for men's soccer, we're looking at 23. I've hired all my coaches, softball, men's golf, as well as women's soccer, thank you. And I'm looking at this point, for the appropriate approval, being able to hire a head men's soccer coach. Again, that was one of the drawbacks to the pandemic, was everything from a budgetary standpoint, we had to freeze. And again, we're no exception to what was going on across the country, but just to let you know. So head men's soccer coach, a position I still need to fill. The last time that we had it out there, we had over 100 candidates. So it's something that people are very interested in, and I'm very excited about that. Now, I get the job of going through all that, but nonetheless, hopefully we can get a nice candidate that's representative of what we stand for. As well as a sports information director we'll need to hire, and another position as administrative assistant. So when I came in January of this year, and it feels like it's been about 2 years, but I was hired January this year, and I had to move, so I moved in February, physically here on campus, February, and then I had about 3 or 4 weeks, and then kind of everything turned upside down at that point. But that didn't stop my progress. That didn't stop the momentum, because we are building champions on our mission. We are building champions at A&M San Antonio. So since then, and with the gracious help from Dr. Matson, as well as our chief financial officers and everyone else has been able to contribute, we do have fields. Before, it was just cacti, weed-thatched trees, and everything else out there. Now it's clear. I'll have some pictures and those things I can put up on our website, but we have a softball field right now, and that's exciting because it wasn't there before, but it's there now. We have a soccer field. Again, wasn't there before, but it's there now. We have student athletes on campus. That's exciting. We have equipment. We have things that are setting the stage for what's to come in the spring, and I'm looking forward to it. We're getting fired up just thinking about it. So there's momentum. There's things happening. And understand that we want to continue not just to let these things, we want to build. If I may, I want to be audacious. If I may, I want to have courage to be able to step out and be bold with some of my claims. Because it's an Aggie way, and I fully embrace it. You know, as part of the challenges that I will have, as we talked about the capital campaigns and fundraising, is fundraising. And being a part of this network and leaning on you all, having advisors, and you know, this is, as A&M San Antonio is as much your family as it is mine. And I want you all to be a part of this. So some of the projects and facilities that I foresee coming down the road, again, if I may be bold, an athletics performance center. I don't believe in being stagnant. I do believe in being realistic, but the time is now. The time is now more than ever to be able to give that support, be able to help out, be able to lend that hand. And it can vary from person to person. And that's up to each person, but it's the relationships. I'm new, right? But I feel like I'm part of this family forever. As I talk to you all, I want to get to know each and every one of you in this room. You may have an opinion about what may happen at A&M San Antonio, and I would love to hear it. Matter of fact, I have business cards, and I'll place them on the table. And then for those that's tuned in via webinar, you can find my email address is dSmith@tamusa.edu, and my phone number is 784-5500. So feel free to reach out. Feel free to connect with me. Feel free to call me. Our student athletes are doing exciting things, but safety, the health, and well-being is paramount, especially now. One position I failed to mention is I was just recently able to hire, almost about 3 weeks ago, a head athletic trainer. I'm really excited about that, so we can really start to envision what practice and competition looks like. Obviously, going through the right protocols and the channels, we want to make sure that we're doing everything by the book. So, I say this: we're the vision, the future. Where are we going? Well, A&M San Antonio is a lot of things. They are a Hispanic serving institution. They are a military embracing institution. They believe in the future growth and development, as do I. I fully embody everything. I believe in academic and athletic excellence. I want to bring more scholarships in so we can fully fund our programs. No exception, we have shortages or shortfalls due to this pandemic. I want to be able to overcome those things, build facilities. It's exciting to say, as part of a historic, network of institutions, who can say that they put their name on an A&M institutional facility, or name the court, or name something within the family? Those are opportunities that can happen, very realistic opportunities. Love to hear your stories and understand that a little bit more. Our student athletes will get out there and compete to win. Not just in their sport. Again, you got a sense of my background and what I believe in. So they're not going to win just in their sport. They're going to win in life. They're going to be engaged citizens. They're going to get out there. They're going to be leaders. There is a saying that, you'll go pro. 99% of the student athletes will go pro in something other than their sport. I understand that. I was one of those student athletes. I stand up here before you because it's come full circle for me. I want to help those student athletes realize their dream and their goals. So, I know I can talk a lot, but thank you all for the opportunity to be here before you. I will say that John Sanchez, who's the Executive Director of Advancement at A&M San Antonio, and President Matson could not be here, as well as our Vice President of Advancement and External Relations, Dr. Diedemeyer. We're all part of this, and we are part of a league and association. We are part of the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, aka the NAIA. And there's great competition within that league. Our conference specifically is the Red River Athletic Conference. Those teams are comprised of a lot of schools from Texas. We got some schools from Louisiana, and then one school from New Mexico, University of the Southwest. And to your second question, yes, look, football can be a dream and a reality. And right now, the focus is on the 4 sports. However, that's part of the conversation that if you all want to see this thing happen, I want to see it happen with you. So we can make this thing come to fruition. Realistically, with football, obviously with the expenses and everything that comes with it, that would be a conversation that's years away. However, again, I'm always open to hear if there's any strategies that you may have that may make a lot of sense to move this timeline up. So absolutely, it's on my mind. I just can't really give you any ideal timeline at this point. Yes, sir.
Is there any practicing? Are you allowed to practice, or you can practice unofficially or organized or anything?
Absolutely. So thank you for that. So the question was, are we allowed to practice, any organized practice? Are we practicing unofficially, et cetera? And the answer is, we're trying to get there. So one of the things I mentioned before with athletic trainer is I wanted to ensure that we had an athletic trainer on to be able to protect our student athletes and the institution, with liability and those things that come with it. So we just had the opportunity to hire an athletic trainer about 3 weeks ago and working through the paperwork and some of the forms that go with it. So our student athletes do have the ability to do things on their own. I would say, in the athletics world, there's a word called valandatory, but no, truly they can do voluntary workouts. So working as quickly as we can so that they can start practicing. Yes, they are allowed to practice. And in NAIA, they are allowed to compete during this period of time, but it's up to the state and it's up to the institution whether or not they want to proceed that route. Yes, sir.
What is your logo or your mascot or your call name?
Absolutely. Thank you. Another great question. So the logo, the call name, our mascot, we are the Jaguars. And I like that. We are the Jaguars, and we are excited to be on the prowl. So there's a thing that the students do, and that from the university where they put the claws up, or put the paws up, I'd say, and then they give like a growl. So we are excited to be Jaguars, and we are excited to be, again, part of the family. And as we grow, one of the things that I am working on, in addition to fundraising plan, in addition to other things, is a marketing strategy as well as branding, licensing. Again, having started back in January, hitting the ground sprinting. These are things that are on my to-do list, and ensuring that from the logo standpoint and from the appeal standpoint, it is something that represents us moving forward. So our logo that we have now is a jaguar head, and that will be what we represent up until the point that we change it if necessary in the future, but it is ongoing conversations. Yes, in the back.
When you were at OSU, did you get to know Mr. Pickens or be around him any?
I did. So the question was, when I was at Oklahoma State, did I get a chance to know Mr. Boone Pickens and hang around him? And absolutely, I did. He was at as many games or as many practices as he could be. When he came back to the campus and we were practicing, I would see him on the sideline. Now, I didn't know him personally, but I did get an opportunity to be able to shake his hand and to talk to him a little bit. And, he was so sharp, and, he would tell stories about his pride in OSU. And so I appreciated that from him, that, he wasn't too big to be able to recognize and talk to even a person like a student athlete that he may not even know.
He was originally a basketball player at A&M, and A&M didn't give him a scholarship. What can you say?
So the comment was he was originally a basketball player at A&M, and A&M did not give him a scholarship. What can I say about that? I have no comment. Rest in peace, Mr. Boone Pickens.
Any more questions?
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Like I said, I'll have my business cards out here on the table. Feel free to take it. Again, I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Thank you for having me today, and thank you for welcoming me into this family and this network. Thank you so much.
But before you step down real quick, Mr. Smith, we've got a couple of things for you. We've got a box of spices from Bollner's Family Spices, Fiesta Spices, and we've got you the Fiesta medal from 2020, the collector's item. So get your medal before they're gone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right. Now we're going to show the no huddle here at the park of A&M beating the hell out of Mississippi State. Everybody that's online, we're gonna cut the live stream now and just click on the link. We've got the link provided to watch the no huddle. It takes about 30 minutes. Thank you.
All right.